Hello and welcome back to NieR Automata. Right, today, something a little bit different, but something I did say I was going to do from the very start of the Let's Play, which is the weapon stories. So, no action here, I'm afraid, folks, but this is really cool stuff. It's really good world-building stuff, and just generally interesting / kind of creepy. So, I'm pretty much going to start with the small swords and work my way down. I've done some of them already, but I'm just going to do all of them working down for the sake of argument, because it's easier. So, let's go with this. So, this is the weapon Faith. In the capital of a distant eastern land, there lived a poet who was devoted to his art. But his words failed to touch the hearts of the people, and he could make no profit from them. Soon his life became unbearably hard. Seeing the limits of his talent, the poet chose to abandon the pen and work the land instead. Soon, his lily-white skin began to grow dark, and his once frail body became sinewy and tough. He eventually married a kind woman, and several years later, they had a child. As the peaceful, uneventful days went on, the man began to feel that there could be no greater happiness in life. Or so the poet wrote before he put down his pen, swallowed the paper whole, and prayed that the next life might turn out so well. Then he took Faith, already stained with the blood of another, and plunged it deep into his chest. Nice. Iron pipe. We've done this one before, but I'll go over it. Dad, if you're cold, I can give you my hat. You're the best father in the world, after all. Dad, if you're hungry, you can have my cookie. You're my favourite person in the world, after all. Dad, if you're scared, I can sleep by your side. You're my closest friend in the world, after all. So please don't go anywhere, alright, Dad? Don't leave your Yona all alone, okay? That's just habit, sorry. Poor Yona. She had a bit of a shit time, really. Beast Bane, a weapon that was in the original NieR as well. Let's have a quick look. Once upon a time, there were 3 princesses. The middle princess wasn't very bright, but was renowned by all as a great beauty. Once she came of age, she was married off to the king of a neighbouring nation. The neighbouring king adored his new wife and treasured her looks above all else. He gave the middle princess 6 new dresses and 8 fresh flowers every day, and his love caused her beauty to shine all the more. The middle princess did all she could to remain beautiful for her king, but she knew time would eventually catch up with her, as it did for all. So after much hard thought, she developed a cunning plan. The middle princess had herself stuffed and mounted so she could remain beautiful for all time. The king wept joyful tears at the sight, but alas, 2 years later, war broke out, and her body was crushed under the rubble of the castle. Next, the Phoenix Dagger. The girl lay there on the day of her wedding. Her parents and beloved were dead, and she herself had been violated in front of their corpses. As she swore to kill those who had done this terrible deed, a shining songbird appeared. "Allow me to grant your wish," said the bird. "Wish upon this dagger, and never forget this hatred that you feel." The girl grasped the weapon and spat out a tearful curse. "I vow not to forget. Please, give them a painful death." Time passed, and eventually she got her revenge. Years later, when she was an old woman, the songbird appeared anew. "What of your vow?" it asked. But she did not understand, and come to think of it, what became of her beloved dagger? That night, bandits broke into her house, assaulted her daughter, and murdered her grandchild. The songbird then reappeared with a single question. How long will your hatred burn this time? Next, we have the Ancient Overlord. One day, a young girl's village was sacked by bandits. To protect her family, she took up a dagger her father had found in the mountains and killed one of them, an act that shocked her family. But the bandits fled, never to return. 5 years passed, then 10, then 20. Though the family she protected began to grow old, the girl never aged. Eventually, the other villagers began to shun her. With no one to turn to, she finally left her village and began to wander the earth, visiting many strange lands in the process. As the years passed, her skill and fame as a master swordfighter grew to legend. Eternal life, a powerful weapon and boundless experience, she used these talents to become queen of a nation. And yet, there was emptiness in her life, for she still desired the kindness her family denied her that fateful day. The Type 4O sword is one of the YoRHa models. YoRHa R&D Team Journal, August the 29th. Held a progress report meeting for the new weapon. Considering how many observers we have from the other orbiting satellites, I can tell they expect a lot from us. Your R&D Team Journal, December the 10th. We had our first core installation experiment today. Saw some troubling signs, including issues with unexpected irregular output and core perimeter defenses. Your R&D Team Journal, January 8th. The circuits of 3 consecutive staffers burned out after attempting to remove the core's protection. I've requested replacement personnel. January the 15th. Command pulled the plug on our project. The weapon will go into official operation with the core still sealed. The Type 3 sword, which is the outdated version. The Craftsman weapons were neither flashy nor attractive, but they never once failed in battle. This reliability afforded him a never-ending stream of loyal clients. Yet something nagged at the Craftsman. Though he'd forged many a weapon, he'd only tested them on pigs and cows. He wondered what it must be like to use them on another human being. The Craftsman took a sword to a battlefield and slashed at corpses, disappointed at how easily the sword slid through them. It wasn't satisfying at all. He wanted to really feel like he was ripping through flesh. The Craftsman modified a sword in search of that feeling, not thinking at all of the pain it would cause, until one night a bandit broke into his home, snatched the weapon up, and showed him exactly how effective it was. The Virtuous Contract. One of our main weapons here. How long can I fight amidst this bloody vortex of a battlefield? How long, I wonder? How long can I continue to protect what I love amidst this endless war? How long, I wonder? How long can I continue to believe in a world laden with deceit and folly? How long, I wonder? How long can I lie to myself as I despair at the dark future of this world? How long, I wonder? The Cruel Oath. Let's have that one next. Once long ago, there was a group of 7 boys who were born in the same village. Though they were not brothers by blood, they treated each other as family. One cold night, a fortune teller appeared and warned of a traitor among them. The boys laughed it off and went about their business, but the next morning, one of them lay dead. With each passing night, another boy died. The survivors grew more and more suspicious of each other, each harbouring terrible doubts about what happened to their brothers. On the morning of the 7th day, a single survivor stood tall. Cleaning the blood off his hands, he chuckled to himself, "Better go find the traitor." The Yorha issue blade, which is a standard issue Yorha sword. Morning listeners, it's time to kick off another installment of Listeners' Letters with your favourite radio idol DJ24D. Now let's get this day started, right, shall we? How's it going, listeners? Yeah, I know, you're still thinking about that cleanup operation yesterday, right? We may have lost a lot of good people, but it's still our job to get up and get them, right? Howdy, listeners. Your favourite radio idol DJ24D hasn't been receiving many letters lately. Do you not like me anymore? Or maybe no one's really listening. Anyway, who's ready to kick things off? Hello? Is anyone there? Is this thing even on? It's me, radio listeners. 24D? I'm an idol, remember? An idol! An idol. So I think it's going a little crazy. Okay, what else we got? Which one's the D models? I can't remember. Machine sword. The more old records I read, the more fascinated I become by the species known as humans. We machines must do all we can to preserve these precious artifacts and continue to record their contents. I see from these records how important predation and reproduction were to human survival, and yet they viewed such acts as sinful. I wonder why. I found a famous human book today, but after reading it 10 times it still makes no sense to me. What possible attraction could there be to be such a thing? Eureka! It seems the answer was in front of me all along. I'm simply incapable of comprehending anything about humanity, or the world in general. How wonderful it is to live in a world swaddled in mystery. The Engine Blade, which is from Final Fantasy XV. A magical blade used by the royal family. A small prince rests alone in a vast, vast kingdom. He wishes his father knew how much he hates sleeping alone, but he doesn't dare to tell him, for the king is a very busy man and must not be disturbed. A king sits alone in his vast, vast office, drowning in affairs of the state. All he wants is to see his family and hug his son, but he cannot, for his every waking moment must be spent in service of the people. One day, when eating dinner, the king asks his son what he most desires in the world. He hopes he will say that he simply wants to spend more time together, but instead, the boy simply points to the sword hanging on the wall. The ancient sword is considered the sign that one is ready to rule. Someday, the king chuckles. His son faintly smiles back at him. All he really wanted was his father to read him a bedtime story. And the Cypress Stick, which is from Dragon Quest. I was in the dead sleep when Mum startled, shouting, "Wakey, wakey," she squawked. "Rise and shine. Today's a very important day. Today's your first visit to the castle." Annoying, right? But I got up anyway. Today's my 16th birthday, and I have an audience with the king. Mum's apparently worried that he'll charge me with some big important task, so she gave me a Cypress Stick for some reason. Pfft, like that would help. As we walk to the castle, Mum keeps blathering on about how excited she is and how long she's been waiting for this day. She's told me this story 1,000,001 times, so I just keep quiet like always. When we arrive, I see my friend coming out of the castle. He's 16 too, but his fearless gaze makes him look like a legendary hero to be. I'm sure he's got a lot to live up to. My dad's just a carpenter, so I've got it easy. That's it for the small swords. I'm going to move on to the large swords. I'm going to do the large swords this set, and then the one afterwards I'll do the spears and combat braces. Mainly because I'm going to pass out in here, because it's like 1,000,000 degrees. We got like a crazy heat wave right now. So I'm going to do as many as I can before I slowly perish. Right, the Iron Will, a colossal iron blade. The sword's blade, dulled by years of idleness, was, as its name implied, a mere iron hunk. Its blood-drenched youth was little more than a series of rusted memories which grated against its pockmarked steel. Who could wield this hunk of iron now that its edge was gone? Who might love it when all it could do was bash dully against a foe instead of cutting through flesh and bone? Who would devote themselves to such insanity? The sword sighed softly, pleased to finally be at rest, but before it could peacefully crumble into dust, a group of power-hungry fools took it up and denied its reverie anew. Red rust was the weapon's tears. The blood, fat and muscle it tore through as proof of its curse. Now let it hew bone once more, let it ravage flesh. Let it do all this and more as atonement for its sins. Fang of the Twins. The Fang of the Twins is a colossal axe offered unto the gods. Twin souls were sacrificed to twin gods and bound to an unbreakable dual-bladed axe. Whenever nicked or damaged, it would instantly repair itself. The two blades would never part. They would be together for the rest of time. The souls of the blade yearn to be as one, to grow old as one, to fall in love as one. It is why we both love the same person. I am myself. I am myself. Look at me. Look at me. Give me love. Give me love. Stop copying me. I'm not. We are together. We are one. Life or death, even if we kill our foes, even if we kill each other. Our two bodies will be as one for all time. Someone separate us. Oh God, please someone help me. The Beast Lord. Again, another weapon that was in the first game, I believe. The Beast Lord is a great sword shaped after the King of Beasts. Once upon a time, there were 3 princesses. The eldest princess was thought to be by all the most brilliant woman in the kingdom, and she soon sat upon the throne of her homeland as their queen. The new queen raised a mighty army. To afford the endeavour, she taxed her people, and in turn they were given jobs in new factories created to support the war effort. People worked, money flowed. As the army grew strong, the demand for factories grew with it. And then the cycle repeated. More work, more money. More work, more money. The Queen's plan proceeded just as she envisioned it. To further strengthen the kingdom, we were converted to machines to enhance our output in factories and the military. Our Queen in turn became the control system that rules us to this day. The Phoenix Sword. Another weapon, I believe, from the original game. A great sword made from the plume of a phoenix. One day a hawk lost its way in the woods. Its proud wings soon grew weak as it tried in vain to find its way home. As death approached, a songbird took pity on the hawk and did its best to offer aid. The songbird slowly nursed the hawk back to health. The beautiful sight of the small white bird nestled in the elegant wings of the hawk soon made it the envy of all creatures in the forest. When the hawk was fully healed, it knew it was time to leave the forest. but before flying away it promised the songbird it would one day return. In turn, the songbird gave the hawk one of its shining feathers as a token of friendship. As promised, the hawk eventually returned, but with a human in tow. "Well done," said the human. "These feathers will sell for a great price at the market." Then he slew the songbird in one blow and plucked its carcass clean. What a scumbag. The latest Yorha model, the Type 4O blade. Development Journal, 0504 Takeda. I've come up with an incredible idea. Something no one has ever done before. I'm going to start testing it first thing in the morning. Development Journal, 0704 Takeda. The boss turned down my idea of infusing metallic alloys with the magical elements. Thrice damn fool. Doesn't he see how much money we could make from this? Development Journal, 1201 Takeda. Things aren't going well. My hair is falling out. I think it's stress. I've got a way to make this project succeed. I've got to find a way to make this project succeed, and soon. Development Journal 1215 Fujita. I looked over the data, but I couldn't work out the problem. I'm not giving up though. With Takeda dead, it's up to me. I'm the only one who can carry on his work. The Type 3 blade, the old, outdated Yorha model. The Greatsword was known for the intense pain it inflicted upon its victims. This is what drove the man to carry it despite its weight, for he knew it would make others fear him, and thus he could avoid needless conflict. The man's reputation spread throughout the village despite never having drawn the blade. "Don't make him use that horrid weapon," the villagers whispered. The man smiled at this, for he knew that fear was the best path to peace. Soon the man had Craftsman forge a host of similar weapons. He gave them all to the other villagers in the hope it would force people to solve conflicts with words instead of violence. And his plan worked, for a while. Keeping all sides in check is simple, but when no one uses their power... keeping all sides in check is simple when no one uses their power, but once the seal is broken, the end is nigh. Thus did the peaceful village transform itself into a living hell over the space of a single night. Virtuous Treaty, another one of our main weapons. First encounter with my lover. Failed to connect with my lover. Far away went my lover. With death went my lover to eternity. The Cruel Blood Oath. I'll never forget the time we met. I knew ours was a love that would last for eternity. But even when by his side, his feelings were a mystery. It was painful not to know what he was thinking. So painful. When I was close, I hurt him, yet being distant hurt him more. I finally found my place in life, a place where I am as close as possible, yet eternally distant. A lot of these are quite relevant to the main game, I feel. And lastly, the Machine Axe, an axe used by the machine lifeforms. Human fight. Why? Why humans love? Why do humans band together? You. Why are you alive? Okay, so that's the large swords and the large swords and the small swords done. Next time I will do the spears, and I will finish off with the combat braces as well. And we can go from there. Thank you very much for listening, because there's not much to see. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys thought. There's a lot of interesting, subtle sort of pokes at the game here. There's like about some of the characters, about some of the goings on, and some of them are just damn old creepy stories, which fits the NieR and Drakengard stuff very well. Either way, I'm gonna go now before I'm literally dripping with sweat. I know that sounds gross, but it's so hot in here, it's ridiculous. So do excuse me. I'm gonna go drown myself in a cold shower. Not actually drown myself, that would be inconvenient. I wouldn't be able to do the next set either. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time. Bye now.